Hey, this is Matt, and I'm going to do something a little bit different for this video. This is going to focus on the genre of Neo-Psych. So my favorite psychedelic rock albums that came out from this past summer, 2016. I think it's about 7 albums that all came out within the months of June, July, and August. So yeah, there was just so much good music that I wanted to share and talk about from this past summer. I thought I'd split it into different videos, so there are also going to be a couple what I'm listening to videos. One's going to be more traditionally what I usually do, but that's going to be music that has vocals. And then I'm going to do a separate video with all my favorite instrumental albums from this summer. So yeah, hope you enjoy this. First up is the album Dark Harvest by Garden Gate. This is a new project from Timothy Meskers of the band Brown Recluse. And yeah, it's probably the most true to that original 60s psychedelic sound. But it still feels really fresh, especially that leisurely gallop on the song Hidden Place. The thrumming keys and sharp harpsichords really bear a resemblance to 60s acts like Pearls Before Swine or Gandalf, or of more recent artist Jocko Gardner. The whole thing's a Baroque pop kaleidoscope with endless layers to lose yourself in. Also want to mention Morgan Delt's new album, Phase Zero. And Phase Zero opts for sunshine over the heavy acidic guitars and eastern tambourines of the self-titled record. His voice is just so airy and delicate, a lot like a drugged Dan Snaith. And I think songs from my favorite Caribou record, Andorra, would fit in pretty well here, like She's the One or Melody Day. And the chorus of A Gun Appears is definitely similar to some of the more euphoric moments off Inner Speaker, which is Tame Impala's first album. The comparisons aside, I think Morgan Delt's doing this style better than just about anyone at the moment. Yeah, Barbarian Kings will always be my favorite song, but I think I like Sun Powers from this one. Next up is Anagrams from Steinbrink. This one might be a little bit of a stretch for this genre, but I think it certainly has elements of the sound, specifically with Steinbrink's really high, floaty vocals and the glistening guitars and that dampened bass sound. The underlying piano and organ and fingerpick guitar on Impossible Hand are just so warm and inviting. And the mix is just perfect. Every moment of this song seems to have just a new piece of ear candy to latch onto. The lyrics seem to be coming from a very genuine self-doubt and anxiety-ridden perspective. Then it's also observational. He comes across a little bit like a social hermit, but honestly, what respectable indie musician doesn't? Composition-wise, I think this guy has a lot of potential that's sort of just still waiting to be unleashed, even after 3 albums. A lot of the songs with better melodies, like Building Machines, just sort of run out of gas as they go on. He's got this syrupy, rich sound, but I think it could do with a little more dynamic shifting. But all in all, this is really great music. For fans of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, so dads, pay attention to those harmonies. Now for something a little bit gloomier, we get the Amazing's new album Ambulance. This is a Swedish band featuring Dungan's guitarist, which is one of my favorite groups, Reina Fiska. I love the sensual groove and icy cold vocals on the very noir Blair Drager. Suddenly everything just opens up in this song and we get that big drive cymbal driven catchy chorus. And it still maintains that sleek, shadowy sheen and mood. I think the guitar is really where this album shines, and it is just so evocative. It kind of makes sense though, because I saw Dungan live, and the guitarist was always fiddling with his equipment, or it just seemed upset with some aspect of the sound pretty much at all times. I found out last month that Vinyl Williams has a new album. And I had no idea it was coming out, but I really loved his from last year. And I was just scrolling through some new releases and kind of stumbled upon it. It's called Brunei. Vinyl Williams, if you don't know him, is an artist off of Toro y Moi's label Company Records. The mind behind the music here, his name is actually Lionel Williams. He's a multimedia artist that specializes in collage, so a pretty busy guy. He also created the interactive video to Multi-Love by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. This album's an assemblage of shoegaze and dream pop, all with a very otherworldly aesthetic. It's a pretty eclectic experience overall, with enigmatic themes and song titles like The Presence of Absence. Finally, I got 2 more albums I want to mention quick. The first one is the Claypool, Lennon, Delirium's Monolith of Phobos. which actually came out towards the beginning of the summer, maybe in May even. But this one's a mix. It's Sean Lennon, who's John Lennon's son, and then Les Claypool for Primus, which is a band I just never really got into the goofiness of that band. But I do really love Sean Lennon and his, he's trying. He's he's got a lot to live up to, but he's trying to do his own thing, and I really appreciate that. And I think this is a good mix of the two of them with a little more emphasis on Sean's sort of songwriting ability and less of kind of the quirkiness of Les Claypool, which I like. I also reviewed the new Mild High Club record Skiptracing, which is a really good record. I go back to it a lot and revisit it. Especially if you like people like Mac DeMarco, then definitely check it out. And check out my next videos, my next What I'm Listening To videos with tons of new music, and share with me some stuff you think maybe I missed from this summer. It doesn't have to be stuff that has that classic summery, whatever that is, sound. Just any new music that came out this summer, and especially new metal, because I did not listen to a lot of metal this summer, and I'd love to get some new progressive metal. I really like clean vocals, but I also like heavy stuff like Mastodon. So yeah, thank you for watching this. See you later.